Good afternoon. My name is Dr. Nardos King, President of the DC Metro HBCU Alumni Alliance and proud alumna of Virginia State University. I want to welcome you to Why HBCUs Matter, a candid conversation on history, relevance, quality education, and the future, brought to you in partnership with our friends at Comcast Xfinity. We are excited that you are able to spend Sunday afternoon with us from the comfort of your home to participate in this virtual panel discussion with 6 distinguished HBCU presidents. Our live streamed event will be hosted by a very special guest who I'm honored to be introducing shortly. We are coming to you live from the Xfinity store in downtown Washington, D.C., one of my favorite places to be. Immediately after the panel discussion, make sure that you stick around because we will open the chat room and take a few questions from the virtual audience. But first, before we get started, here's a special message from Xfinity.
1, 2, ready, and...
Historically Black colleges and universities are different. There are over 100 of our greater second families. They are on their own level of culture, of academic rigor, of passion and energy, all excelling towards the future of us. It's more than just a place to learn, but a place to become. Because HBCUs are more. Just say HBCU into your Xfinity Voice remote to experience more HBCU.
Founded in 2012, the DC Metro HBCU Alumni Alliance is a registered 501c3 with over 64 local HBCU alumni chapters representing 55 historically Black colleges and universities. Our mission is to serve as an advocate for HBCU alumni associations by supporting the mission of HBCU through scholarship fundraising, alumni reclamation, and student recruitment, in addition to aligning with the National HBCU Alumni Alliance by supporting and participating in programs that promote higher education, encourage healthy living, and fighting hunger. With that in mind, why wouldn't we select an HBCU alum representing the nation's capital to lead the discussion? Our host for this exciting panel discussion is a Grammy-nominated recording artist, consummate performer, and cultural influencer who has collaborated with noted R&B artists that include Jill Scott, Layla Hathaway, Music Soul Child, and DJ Jazzy Jeff, just to name a few. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Howard University alum, Mr. Eric Roberson.
Thank you, Nardos and Xfinity, for inviting me, and what a great introduction. I'm so happy to participate in this virtual discussion with such a distinguished group of panelists. Attending an HBCU definitely had a huge impact on my life, not just as a recording artist, but also as a father, a mentor, and now as an educator to other aspiring performers. As I look back, I've experienced so many defining life-changing moments during my days at Howard University. HU! Okay, I'm all right. Anyway, let's continue on. And remaining involved in a variety of events in the HBCU community. So go Bison, that's my last plug, okay? All right, seriously though, with that in mind, please know that it's an honor to be here today. Without further ado, let's jump right in and introduce these esteemed HBCU presidents who will share their thoughts on why HBCUs matter, especially in this turbulent economic and political environment still reeling from the effects of the pandemic. Ladies first. So we have representing Shaw University. Please welcome President Dr. Paulette Dillard.
Good afternoon.
How you doing, President Doctor?
I'm well.
That's good.
You from Raleigh, North Carolina.
Yes, I have a lot of family in Raleigh, so we're so happy to have you. All right, perfect. Well, representing the DMV and the University of District of Columbia, President Ron Mason Jr.
Hi, Eric. Happy to be here representing the public institution of higher learning in and for the nation's capital.
Yes, President Mason Jr., we appreciate it. Listen, right after this, I'll meet you at Ben's Chili Bowl. Turkey burgers on me. All right.
Sounds good.
Right. Hailing from Virginia State University, please welcome my Bison brother, President Dr. Makola M. Abdullah.
Hey, that's right. When you said Howard University, I was on the other side saying HU.
Glad you muted, but it's all good. It's all love.
Yeah, man. But I'm representing Virginia State, of course. And Dr. Nardos King, I want to thank her for all the work that she does for VSU.
Nice, nice. Of course. Heading south, heading south to the Mississippi, we now have President Thomas K. Hudson from Jackson State University.
Hello and good afternoon, Eric. Very happy to be here to represent Jackson State University.
Oh man, it is an honor. Look, we hopefully I'll be touring back soon. So when we come down that way, I need to know what's a good food spot in the area.
Absolutely, absolutely.
All good, all good. From Atlanta and Morris Brown University, say hello to President Dr. Kevin E. James.
Good afternoon, everyone. Kevin James here, representing Morris Brown College, Georgia's first and only historical Black college founded by African Americans back in 1881.
Now, thank you for being here, President. Doctor, we had some questions for you, but because your Atlanta Hawks beat my New York Knicks, we're going to skip over you for the day. All right.
Listen, and we may win the game today, too, so keep your eyes on the Atlanta Hawks.
All right, I might root for you. We'll see. And last but certainly not least, put your hands together for President Dr. Japhis Hardwick, representing Florida Memorial University.
Good afternoon, all my colleagues. Eric, thank you all so much for allowing me and inviting me to participate in this national conversation. Good to see everybody representing Miami, Florida.
Nice, nice. I'm quite jealous of the weather, but while we have you right here, President Dr. Hardwick, the first question before you, as well as for President Ron Mason Jr. From UDC. The question is, how has the pandemic impacted the recruitment and retainment of students? I'll start with you, Dr. Hardwick.
Good question, Eric. I think we all know that 2020 was certainly an arduous year that really had an impact on all of us from various ways and from different perspectives. But our university really experienced a slight decline in our enrollment by 20%. And of course, that means that many of our students, we had to quickly pivot to get many of them up to speed, as well as our entire university, because we were so accustomed to, again, educating our student body from a traditional standpoint. And we had to make quick adjustments to move to an online environment. And then many of those students, again, because of the digital divide, were struggling, and we had to quickly get many of our business partners to provide laptops and other devices for our students to be able to continue to learn. And that even includes many of our international students throughout the Caribbean and other places. So again, and many of those students who were about to just drop out because of the pandemic, we were able to raise funds to be able to keep them in school. Because I think all of us know when in a time of crisis, our folks have a tendency to want to stop attending school for various reasons, but it's important that we help keep them in school because we know the impact once they complete.
Very true. Would you like to add anything to that, President Mason?
Well, for us, it was a mixed bag. Basically the entire system of higher education for the District of Columbia. And so we made the pivot well, and our retention rate actually went up. But the students that were transitioning from high school to college, we lost a lot of them in our community college. And so we've increased investments to try to find them, get them back on track, because there's a risk that we'll lose them forever in the learning pipeline. And so we want to make sure we get them back on track before we lose them for good.
Great answers. I do know that if anyone wants to chime in on any of these questions, feel free to jump in. And I commend each and every one of you, as well as your schools, for dealing through this last year and a half of this pandemic and putting the students first. The next question I'll give to Virginia State University's President, Dr. Abdullah, as well as Jackson State's President, President Hudson. What facts about your HBCU would most people not know or would not be considered common knowledge?
Well, I tell you, one of the things that's so exciting is that we have a collection of alums that have done incredible work. I know most people don't know that Reginald F. Lewis, the first Black billionaire in the country, is a graduate of Virginia State University. And at Virginia State University graduates some of the most number of generals. General Vi, 4-star general, just retired, was an alum of Virginia State University. And so I can go on and on. I think what the key is, and it's true for all of us and all of our institutions, that you can get there from here, right? Wherever you want to go, if you're a student, a young person, or young at heart, right? Wherever you're trying to get to, you can get to from VSU. I also wanted to shout out my colleagues. It's always a pleasure to be on a call with them. Dr. Dillard, we share the CIAA connection. I'll see Japhus and Thomas next week, and so it's just a play. And I'm currently. Kevin said that I could broadcast out of Atlanta as long as I stayed in the airport. Got me stuck in the airport here, but it's just a pleasure to see everybody. And Ron, it's just great. So thanks for the question.
You should have told me. I would have came and picked you up.
See, that's what I'm saying.
So much love.
Well, yes. Again, it's a pleasure to be here and really speak on some of the great things that's happening, not just at Jackson State University, but really all HBCUs. And just a couple of things about JSU that you may not know. We're one of 2 HBCUs with a clinical doctoral program, which is very important when we talk about representation matters, when we talk about diversity matters. Being able to produce people in that field is very important for Jackson State University and all HBCUs. We're also accredited by the AACSB, that's the Association to Advance Collegiate Schools of Business, and that's an accreditation held by only 5% of business schools worldwide. Very much a point of pride for Jackson State University, and we take great pride in our college of business. And also, we boast the largest enrollment of any college at JSU in the College of Education, and we produce many of our nation's teachers, principals, especially here in the Southeast area, really impacting education, secondary education leaders to our great HBCUs here at Jackson State University. And just the last point of pride, we're proud to be one of the first HBCU to sign a pact to become a protege in the NASA Shared Services Program. Very important, as you know, STEM is where it's at right now. STEM in terms of expenditures and in terms of producing African Americans in STEM. That's a very important point, and it's something we're very proud of. And Jackson State is happy to be part of the solution to where the nation is going, and really being happy to be a part of that.
Great answers. So much history in the past as well as looking towards the future. I appreciate both your answers. The next question I have for President Dr. Dillard from Shaw, as well as President Dr. James from Morris Brown. My question is, why should your university be at the top of any student's list to attend?
Following up on what my colleagues have just said about STEM and the opportunities to advance in those fields, Shaw University sits in vibrant downtown Raleigh, North Carolina, very close to the Research Triangle Park. As I look out of my office window, I can see Red Hat. I'm walking distance to Citrix and Cisco. And so if you ever wanted the opportunity to be in a hotbed of internship opportunities, which we know that an internship is a direct correlator to success in STEM fields especially. So Shaw is the place to be if you want to walk off of your college campus into a vibrant city that offers you opportunities beyond mention. So I would tell any parent, this is the place for your young lady or young man to come and pursue an education, both in the classroom and as it relates to internship opportunities.
Great answer. Great. Side note, my kids, we're very young. We got time, but we're getting them into STEM. So I thank all of you in advance for the scholarships that you're going to provide for my 3 boys. As they're going to be coming free of tuition. We'll talk about that later. Dr. James, do you want to expound on the question?
Sure. Well, Morris Brown College, you all may have heard, Morris Brown is back. We're one of the only institutions, HBCUs in the entire country, that has been able to survive 20 years without our accreditation. A lot of people ask me, why in the world would you accept the presidency at Morris Brown? I feel like God sent me to the institution to help lead and to save the institution. And you all may have heard that Morris Brown College is absolutely back. This year, we received our accreditation candidacy, first HBCU in history to ever rebound 20 years after losing our accreditation. We're right now in the process of applying for federal financial aid. We have new academic programs. We're right here in Atlanta, Georgia. So a lot of young people are interested in the Atlanta area, right in the middle of the Atlanta University Center. And so being a part of what we call the hard reset, is very eye-opening to a lot of young people. In the last 30 days, we've had over 450 applications for enrollment for a school that's been closed for 20 years. And so we're back, we're moving the school forward. We have phenomenal academic programs, very innovative programs. We have a new degree program in esports performance, first HBCU in the country with that degree program, first college in the entire state of Georgia with that degree program. We have new degree programs in global business management. We just signed a deal with Hilton Hotels, where we're building a $30 million hotel on our campus. We're bringing back our hospitality and management program, where our students are going to be working in our own hotel. And so that's going to be a very innovative program. We just partnered with Chick-fil-A, where students are going to learn how to own, operate, and manage Chick-fil-A restaurants in our hospitality program. And next week, we're announcing a huge partnership with Edible Arrangements. And so we anticipate on having one of the strongest hospitality and management programs in the country at any institution, but specifically at an HBCU. And so, why should someone come to Morris Brown? You should come back to be a part of the resurrection, the restoration, the hard reset. This is historical hard work that we're doing here. And not to mention, we're one of the most affordable private historical Black college in the entire state of Georgia. Our students are going to be able to come here and graduate almost, if not debt-free, almost debt-free. And so we anticipate on being able to compete as a very strong HBCU option, a very strong higher education choice. And anyone who's interested in the Morris Brown, go to our website, morrisbrown.edu.
Great answer. And great job. I do have a question for you to add into this. How much do you balance the tradition of Morris Brown as well as leaning towards the innovation of new things when you think of being closed down for so long?
Yeah, we're going to continue to be a historic Morris Brown college. Now, through this restoration and the hard reset, we had to go back to the very beginning. That is what the term hard reset means, like wipe your cell phone clean of all the apps, all the phone numbers, everything on your cell phone. And so we continue to be a haven for all hungry souls. However, we're going to be a different Morris Brown college. Now, how are we going to be the same historical Morris Brown? We're bringing back the innovative Morris Brown Marching Wolverine band that you saw in the movie Drumline. We're bringing back the fraternities. We're bringing back the sororities. We will continue to be a haven for all hungry souls. Anyone who wants a higher education, come on to Morris Brown. We will feed you a phenomenal education. We anticipate on having phenomenal student services, phenomenal student programs, and eventually we want to be a part again of the Atlanta University Center so we can continue to work with all of our sister HBCUs right here in Atlanta. And so we will be a new Morris Brown. However, we will still be a historic Morris Brown.
I love that. I love that. Well, this question is for all of you. Whoever would like to chime in. What do you expect from alumni and the alumni associations, and how do you engage with them? Would anyone like to start with that?
Well, I'll go ahead and start. In terms of expectations, we have a great alumni association here at Jackson State, over 50,000 strong. And really what we expect in terms of help in recruiting students, bringing more students from across the nation to the university, really being examples and models of what a JSU graduate can become is really one of the main expectations that we have with our alumni. And they do an awesome job of that just by shining a great light on the university. In terms of engagement, just that constant communication, whether it's phone calls to individual alumni, to actual attending alumni meetings, having meet and greets. We host the biannual alumni reception here on campus. Again, just another way to truly engage with our alumni here at Jackson State University. So it's a great working relationship. I'm an alumni of the university, so I understand it from both sides. And it's just a really good partnership that enhances the university and really helps us reach our full potential.
Nice. Anyone else?
And okay, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Well, here at Morris Brown, our alumni, we have a structure where our alumni are part of our shared governance structure. We have our national alumni president, who is a part of our board of trustees, and we also have an alumni rep who is a part of our board of trustees. So on a monthly or quarterly basis, I should say, we have the alumni voice at the table. And so they bring their concerns from the ground up, from the chapters. We have chapters all throughout the country. Furthest over is Los Angeles, all the way to New York. So we have chapters all over the country. The chapter structure, they work with the national alumni president, and they bring all their voices to our board every quarter. And so we hear from our alumni. They're a very huge component to the saving of Morris Brown, to the resurrection of Morris Brown. I tell people all the time, there's only 3 reasons that Morris Brown was able to survive these last 20 years. The first is God, the second is the AME Church, and the third is the alumni. And so Morris Brown, as we've been able to restore the school, they're our largest contributor when it comes to fundraising and finance. We have not received that huge $20 million gift yet, that $50 million gift. We've been able to save this institution through alumni giving, a grassroots effort. And so I can't thank my alumni enough. And we're so appreciative to all the Morris Brown College alumni, because again, we have the best alumni in all of HBCU world. So all of my alums watching, thank you for your continued support of Morris Brown, and continue to work with us through the hard reset.
And Dr. James, you better name and claim that $30 million check. We just going to send it on in.
I'm naming it. I think everybody on this call has gotten a $30 million gift except me. So we're working on it.
Amen. All right. President Dr. Abdullah, you were going to answer?
I did. First, I wanted to say that we've got not just the best alums, Kevin James, but also the best alumni association. Led by Franklin Johnson Jr. and Michael Rainey, consisting also of Dr. Nardos King. We have an incredible alumni association, incredible alums that really give to Virginia State. And when we talk about giving and what we want alums to do, I think number 3, we always want alums to give, right? And our alums give back, raising over $1 million every year to give towards students and programs at Virginia State University. Second, we want alums to help always get the word out. Our alums are incredible, particularly on social media, making sure that they tell the great stories of Virginia State University. And then number 1 for me is that alums have to make sure they continue to do great in their profession, that they're doing all of the work that they can do. And as they receive accolades, that they give some of those accolades to Virginia State, that they tell people that they wouldn't be who they are without Virginia State University, because that is really what grows the reputation of the institution. Our reputation isn't built on our students. It's really built on the accomplishments of our alums when they graduate. And so we're so proud of our alums. Again, we've got the best in the country, bar none. I'm going to say that, of course, and my colleagues going to jump over that bar. But I love the alums of Virginia State.
And ditto, because Shaw has the best alums in the nation.
I think everybody's going to say that.
These 155 years are attributed to folks who love Shaw University. And we are grateful for the Alumni Association, and we just want them to do 3 things: love your school, tell your story, and make sure that you support in any way that you possibly can, because it is through your efforts that Shaw University is able to be all that it can be.
And at Florida Memorial, let me just say, definitely we have some of the most outstanding alums, again, in the HBCU space, extremely talented individuals that we're proud of. And as it has already been indicated, we integrate our alumni in pretty much everything we do. They sit on our board. They've been part of the transformation, the redesign of strategic plans, and the strategic focus of the university. And our alums are really givers, and I'm so appreciative. And we try to help make sure that we tell the success stories of so many of our alumni, and we're appreciative. Not only are they recruiting, but most importantly, are mentoring many of our students, helping them, placing them in career opportunities, as well as internship opportunities, and exposing so many of them and helping to prepare them to be able to compete in a 21st century global marketplace. So I'm very proud of our alums.
Yeah, I'd better say something because I know my alumni are watching. But look, we're special. We go back to 1851, and we're actually three schools that came together to create UDC. And so we have three alumni bases that actually came together to join as one Firebird family, which in and of itself, I think, is a beautiful thing. We have alumni elected representatives on our board as well as our foundation board. And at the end of the day, they are all what we hope they would be, which are shining examples of the value of a UDC degree. And we love every one of them.
If you are just tuning in now, you are seeing the national competition of who has the best alumni out of HBCUs. I appreciate it. With great answers. I want to go to all your schools now. President Dr. Abdullah, I know you have to leave soon, so I have the next question for you. And also President Dr. Hardwick, if you can chime in as well, we'd love to hear your answer. We hear from some parents that they want their children to attend an HBCU, but scholarships offered by the school do not offer what some PWIs offer to them. What would you respond to that parent?
I would say this. First, I believe that a college choice is a very independent choice for a family, right? The family has to make the right decision about fit, about finances, and I would always encourage the family to make the best decision for them. Having said that, I believe that HBCUs are a choice that students have to pay attention to. That you have to visit at least one. You have to have that as a part of your decision mechanism. And even if sometimes that the money isn't as good as other schools, and we really honestly do the best we can, the vast majority of the money raised by all of our institutions, the vast majority of the money that we get from the federal or state government, we use for financial aid because we believe in students getting an education. And I believe that for parents, that I think they want to factor that in also, not just the dollars and cents, but the value of what you're going to get out of it. When you look at the first Black vice president of the United States, she came from an HBCU. She came from Howard University. When you look at the vast number of generals in the federal government, they came from our HBCUs. The vast majority of Black CEOs came from HBCUs. And so the question becomes, how do you get the best return on your investment? It's not just how much you pay, it's what's your return on investment.
Man, amazing. I totally agree. President Dr. Hardwick from Florida Memorial, would you like to answer as well?
Yes, and I concur with Makola. I think many of our parents, we have to realize that educational opportunities, it's a choice where you want to go. But I can say that at Florida Memorial University, we are highly competitive. And yes, we don't necessarily provide some of the kind of scholarships like some of these other institutions, our PWIs, but it's a matter of comparing apples to apples when you think about this, because so many of those organizations have huge endowments and they're able to discount a significant amount of their tuitions. But one thing I can say is that when you come to Florida Memorial University or any historical Black universities, you're making a good investment in your future. Because when you leave us, we're going to make sure that you're prepared to compete in a global marketplace, or you learn how to become entrepreneurs. We're going to pour into you because we are providing a value proposition that I'm not saying that you won't get at another place, but I can assure you, you're going to have an experience that will last a lifetime at our institutions. And so when I think about even just this past year, Eric, we literally had so many who poured out and provided scholarship opportunities because they know the importance of keeping our kids in school. Now, one of the things that sometimes really does, I think it's important that we educate ourselves on, and I've witnessed this, is when some of our parents come in and say, well, we want free money. Well, I don't know what free money is. And but when you think about an institution like ours where 85-90% of our students are Pell eligible, I can tell you this, that our institutions are making it extremely competitive to compete with any other institution that's out here in this country. So Florida Memorial is going to always be a place where we give you the best, and we're going to help you to succeed.
Thank you for amazing answer. Let's pivot to communities real quick. President Mason Jr. from UDC, as well as President Dr. James from Morris Brown. How do HBCUs contribute to the communities in which they serve?
Well, let me talk a little bit about UDC, because we're the only public university in the district, right? And so we always have strong partnerships with district government. Our business school, for example, trains TANF recipients on life skills. Our architecture program does sustainable design and housing inspections. Since we're the only exclusively urban land grant university in the nation, we have aquaponic and hydroponic gardens all across DC. We have the largest organic rooftop garden in the district. And we create agripreneurs, people who are making money off of urban gardens in the district. And then our law school, which is devoted to public service, educating public service lawyers, is actually the sixth best clinical programs, has the sixth best clinical programs in the country, according to U.S. News and World Report, right neck and neck with Yale, because we provide services to people who can't afford legal services otherwise. So as the only public university in the district, we're all over the district doing all sorts of things, but our primary purpose is to serve.
Wow. If I got any lawsuits, I'm coming to you. President Dr. James, what about you? How does HBCUs contribute to the community in which they serve?
Well, the first thing that I want to say is there's a lot going on in our country right now socially. Yeah. You see everything that's going on from a criminal justice reform or social justice issues. One thing I want to say about HBCUs is that we are a safe space for Black and brown students. You're not worried about being profiled on an HBCU campus from a white police officer. You're not worried about being shot, killed, or murdered because of the color of your skin on a HBCU campus. And that is something that a lot of people kind of overlook when you think about a safe space, a safe environment to learn, to be educated, being in a place where I have a diverse faculty, where I have faculty members from every field of endeavor that look like me, talk like me, have a background such as I do. And so when you talk about education and what HBCUs provide, when you think about the fact that we've contributed to every field of endeavor that you think of, doctors, lawyers, pharmacists, teachers, preachers, anything that you can think of. And many of the leaders who are Black and brown come from HBCUs. We have to remember that we do more with less. HBCUs absolutely do more with less. And we provide an opportunity for students to feel and to feel complete and to learn more about who they are. And so, when we push out our graduates, they are able to go out in the world and compete because they received a quality education at a safe haven. Morris Brown has a line in our alma mater called, where we say that we're a haven for all hungry souls. I mentioned that a little bit earlier. And the second line of that alma mater says, and feeding them shall be our goal. And so that is not just Morris Brown, that's all HBCUs around the country, where we are a haven for hungry souls, where we feed them to give them the tools that they need to go out and compete in a safe environment. And so I believe not only these environments, how they're so important, also regarding what we do with less is extremely important for all HBCUs around the country.
Such a great answer. As a father of three young boys and worried and constantly worried, I never considered that aspect of how safe they would be at an HBCU compared to other schools. So thank you for that insight. All right, let's have some fun for a quick second. Now listen, don't get carried away now on this question. But if they made a movie about your leadership at the HBCU that you serve, what actor or actress would you select to play you and why? Now let's be open. Matter of fact, ladies first. Dr. Dillard, who would you like to play you based on your leadership at the HBCU that you serve?
Viola Davis. She's an individual that can rock it no matter what the circumstances are, going from the help all the way to Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. And in every role she plays, she takes care of whatever needs to be taken care of. And she still maintains who and what she is. And I think that's what characterizes my leadership here at Shaw. And besides, she's one of the few that has both an all three, an Emmy, an Oscar, and a Tony. So I think that says it all.
I know that's right. That's a perfect answer. Dr. James, were you about to say something?
Yeah, so I would say Will Smith, but he's a little tall,
Okay.
so he won't be able to play me. So I would have said Denzel Washington, but he's a little old, so he won't be able to play me. So I'm gonna go with Denzel's son or John Legend because people say I look like him. I don't think so, but we'll go with either one of them.
I love it. I'm really just here for President Hudson's face when you said Denzel. He said, "Oh, okay." All right.
Oh, he's the best actor in the world now.
Yeah,
But
yeah, absolutely right.
He's a little too old, I guess.
A little too okay. John Legend. Okay, I can see that. President Hudson, what about you?
Wow. I don't think there's a right answer or a safe answer to this question that I can give. Probably being the newest one in the bunch, I'll probably have to pick whoever's out there that's recent and more relevant and who's, of course, Black, because you can't get past the skin color deal. But honestly, in terms of leadership and in terms of what we bring to the table, I think we all, within our own skin, bring a lot to the table and are really able to show what true leadership is on the African-American level and what Black leadership is. And so, you know what, I'll probably play myself because I think all of us are able to really bring forward what we need in order to really, really show what Black excellence is about.
Did President Hudson say, King Kong ain't got nothing on me? He gonna be the Spike Lee of his own movie. I'm gonna be in my own movie. I'm write and produce it. President Mason Jr., what about you?
Yeah, I wasn't sure, so I asked my wife, and she told me Morgan Freeman when he was my age, because he's cool, he's versatile, he's well seasoned, and he's still sexy.
All right, wife. Wife answered that perfectly. President Dr. Hardwick, what about you?
I would have to go with Denzel. Simply because he is certainly a debonair brother, cool, sophisticated, smart, and just a brilliant brother. So that's who I would have to go with.
I like that. Well, in your best Denzel presentation, I need you to answer the next question for me, President Dr. Hardwick. How do HBCUs alumni groups support students and graduates in employment and advancement opportunities?
Well, and it's thank you, Erica, and I alluded to this earlier again as it relates to many of our alums, and that we have a significant number who are in corporate fields or judges, lawyers, doctors, and so many of them are inviting and encouraging those students and mentoring our students. And many of them are leading organizations where they're actually employing many of our students and pushing them either to go on to graduate school. And what I love most is that they're helping to teach them how to become entrepreneurs. And you guys didn't like my answer? It went black on my end.
Oh, no, continue on. I'm sorry.
And so I'm appreciative for what our alumni do and really helping to shape the future leaders coming out of our university.
One quick question for all of you as well. There's so much more to HBCUs that maybe it is not advertised. Sure, we know education, but let's just talk about the social aspect of going to other classmates, having rooms full of people that look like yourself. Maybe just if any one of you could maybe just expound on that.
Well, I think for me, that's just part of the cultural richness, being a part of a historical Black university. That you really don't get at some of our other institutions. And I don't want to cast, again, disparaging comments about them, but having worked at those institutions, I can tell you there is a distinct difference of being at those institutions versus what you get when you are part of a historical Black university. You begin to realize, although we are a historical Black university, what I love about the fact is that we are extremely diverse at our institutions, and many of our students, they get to grow in so many different ways because of the cultural richness at our institutions and the diversity that exists at our institutions.
So well said. It's one of the blessings, even having graduated 20-something years ago, I still cherish those days in those dorm rooms, on those yards. It's amazing. Well, let's do this. Ladies and gentlemen, before we transition into the live audience Q&A, which we've moderated by my dear friend, Dr. Nardos King, as a recording artist, I would be remiss if before I left, I did not ask each of our distinguished panelists a very important question. But before we do that, did you know in September 2020, the HBCU experience within the Xfinity Black Film and Television Destination expanded to include new content, including 3 new collections filled with shows, docuseries and movies that feature Black students, teachers, and education, custom HBCU playlists provided by Music Choice, culture-driven podcasts from iHeartRadio, and web content highlighting the Divine Nine Black Greek organizations. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this special preview from Comcast Xfinity.
Looking for an all-Black cast, Black directors, Black writers? Just say Black Film and TV.
Looking for Black comedians, superheroes, dramas? Just say Black Film and TV.
Looking for Black love, Black music, Black colleges and universities? Just say Black Film and TV.
Xfinity makes finding the entertainment you love easy. From throwback classics to Hollywood's hottest.
Catch indie films, international channels, music videos, and more.
Even access Netflix and YouTube with your voice. When it comes to Black entertainment,
you know what to do.
Simple, easy, awesome.
Xfinity. Xfinity.
In recognition of Black Music Month, if you had to choose a song that best reflects the spirit of your HBCU, for all the presidents, I'm curious, what song would it be? I'm going to start with you, President Dr. Dillard of Shaw University. If you could pick one song that represents your HBCU, what would that be?
That's easy. Tina Turner's Simply the Best.
And we got a song out of it as well. I love it. I love it. What about you, President Ron Mason Jr. from UDC?
So I can think of 2, either Fight the Power by Public Enemy or God's Plan by Drake.
Can we get a hot 16 of one of them?
Not today.
It's all good. It's all good. That's a nice variety. Okay. Public Enemy or Drake. What about you, President Thomas K. Hudson from Jackson State University?
Well, look, being from Jackson State, there's only one song.
Get ready.
Get ready. Everybody knows it. That is the JSU anthem. We've made that song our own. I don't think it belongs to the Temptations anymore, but yes, Get Ready would be the song for Jackson State University.
Duly noted, and we will get ready. President Dr. Kevin E. James from Brown University, how about you?
That's an easy one for us. We're the only HBCU that actually has its own song named after the school. Morris Brown by Outkast.
Outkast. I know that's right. Man,
no other HBCU has that.
That's a good point. That's a good point. All right. Well, President Dr. Jarvis Hardwick from Florida Memorial University. I don't know if you could top that, but what would your song be?
Hey, well, listen, I'm going to have to go back on you just a little bit, and because we also have this strong, rich diversity here in Miami, where the world vacations, right? People come to learn and to study. And so for me, I'm going to have to go back to Bob Marley, One Love.
Oh, yes. Let's get together and feel all right. Well, I feel all right talking to all of you amazing presidents, and really thank you. I want to thank everyone at home who is streaming, our panelists, Xfinity, and the DC Metro HBCU Alumni Alliance for its thought leadership and all the good work that you do to advocate for affordable access and quality education for students of color across the country. Now back to my dear friend Nardos.
So excited that many of you joined us this beautiful Sunday afternoon. And I'm going to take a question from Tiana Wallop. And let's see, anyone can jump in and answer. Do admission recruiters only focus on certain areas? Do they go to schools where they're invited? My son only knows about HBCUs being in private school because I graduated from one. So who'd like to tackle that one?
I'll start with that one, and that's a great question because first of all, we are all even when you have limited resources, we try to cover as many schools as possible. And what you'll find is most HBCUs go to those places where we've had success pulling people from. Jackson State, we have a great Midwestern presence, Detroit, Chicago, places like that. So we'll go to those schools where we have a real large alumni base, and those schools where we've had success coming from. We also go where we're invited. And sometimes, and I'm sure my other colleagues on the call can, agree with this, we're not always 100% welcome at every school in our area. And sometimes we have to break the doors down in order to get there, get to those counselors, and really make HBCUs or our particular HBCU a viable option. So there are some obstacles at times that will keep the door shut on us. But by and large, we try to go wherever we've had previous success and wherever we're invited to, try to get as many students as we can and really have as many people as we can learn about the greatness of HBCUs.
Yeah, that's a great answer. And I think that's why it's important that alumni associations help out our universities, right? We're all over the world, and we can make sure that people know about our universities by the work we do in our communities. So Shayla Watson has a question. HBCU life has changed since many active alumni have graduated. Can you identify any pressing needs of the current generation of students and ways we can offer support? Anyone?
Well, I'll give it a shot. So our strategic plan is called the Equity Imperative. And the goal is that all of our students will reach their highest levels of human potential. But in this day and age, there are a lot of obstacles to them being able to do that. Some of it is structural, some of it is financial, some of it is the condition of our public school systems. But the more we can have a hands-on from the perspective of mentoring, academic support, financial support, and really just as many touches as we can have with the students that we serve, because it is a confusing world out there and it moves very quickly. And so, we reach out to our alumni and our graduates and try to connect them directly with the students that are here so that they can benefit not only from what they've learned while they were here, but also their perspective as more seasoned observers of the world that we're living in.
And Dr. King, I would like to say that in addition to what my colleague, Dr. Mason, has articulated, I would like to also encourage individuals who raised the individual who raised the question, and so many others who are listening, to also begin to talk about the good that comes out of our HBCUs, as opposed to always trying to marginalize our HBCUs as if students won't ever get a quality education. And I think we got to get back to that point where we also understand and embrace the value of our historical Black universities.
Thank you both for those wonderful answers. Lindsay Kathleen asks, how are HBCUs remaining competitive and recruiting students with higher GPAs and achievements, knowing those students have options?
I can tell you how we are. So we have a scholarship program called DC University Partnerships. And any DC high school graduate, either public or public charter, with a 3.0 or above gets a scholarship here. And if it's a 3.7 or above, they get a free ride and they get a housing allowance. Mm-hmm. And so we've been able to become a first choice school for more and more students each and every year. But the other thing is this, we're the most affordable school in the DMV, the most affordable university. And so we sell affordability, nationally ranked programs, and the fact that when you graduate, you won't have the anchor of debt to hold you back as you start to build your life. And that's a real big selling point when students are buried in debt when they're trying to get started in their lives.
Thank you. Dr. Diller, did you want to add to that?
Yes, similar to the University of DC, we offer scholarships for students with GPAs 3.7 and above. That includes a full ride, and we make the commitment for 4 years if they maintain a GPA at an upper acceptable range. The other thing that is um, enticing to high GPA students is the opportunity to become leaders and be able to stand out at an HBCU wherein they may not have those opportunities for leadership in other institutions. And so the opportunity to offer a well-rounded, grounded education, as well as the opportunity to stand out, there's not a dollar value you can always place on that.
Thank
And at
you.
Florida Memorial, we offer several levels of scholarship opportunities for talented students. And one in particular, and literally that starts at 3.0 and higher. But students who basically have a 4.0, I have what is called a President's Scholarship, which is a completely full ride for exceptionally talented students.
Thank you. Thank you all. So Stevens Taylor is making the comment that HBCUs are the best option for Black students to receive a quality education. No other category of post-secondary institution has the commitment to retaining Black students to graduate, and we can all agree to that statement. And I have one final question for all of you, because I know all of my fellow alum at HBCUs around the world, around the country, are waiting for this. Are we having a face-to-face homecoming this year?
Yes.
Well, Morris
Looks
Brown
like
is.
it.
Yes.
I think so.
There will be one at Shaw University.
Yes.
All right.
So
All right.
Get your vaccines.
Okay, get your vaccines. I hear you. Well, thank you so much. On behalf of the DC HBCU Alumni Alliance, we would like to thank our distinguished guest panelists representing HBCUs across the country, Comcast Xfinity for their ongoing support, Buoyant Partners for producing this live event, and all of you from home who joined us on this beautiful and thought-provoking Sunday afternoon. And a special shout out to our event host and new friend, Eric Roberson, who just recently released an absolutely beautiful song called Lessons. It's available everywhere on all digital platforms. You can see more of Eric as he serves as the host of the HBCU Music Mixed Dance Party on Wednesday night, June 23rd. Mark your calendars now. Also, we hope you will be able to join us for our 9th annual HBCU Community Day and 5K Run Walk, sponsored by Xfinity on June 26th. This year's race will be held virtually at a preferred location selected by you. To date, there are nearly 1,200 runners and walkers already registered. Today, we are offering a discount code for those who register before tomorrow. Use code HBCU2021 to receive a $5 discount through June 7th. To register, visit our website at dchbcu.org. We invite you to connect with us on all of our social media platforms and stay engaged with our organization. Until next time, alum, have a wonderful evening and stay safe. Peace out.